Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today some very important and very surprising news out of the Developer Bulletin from the World of Warships website. And you've probably already read the title, and yes, Missouri is returning to the game for purchase. We don't know how much yet, all we know is that she will be available for doubloons. However, there is of course a major catch with the Missouri returning. So the reason the Missouri was removed in the first place is that Missouri was the very first Tier 9 premium ship ever released into the game. Back in the day, you could get it for 750,000 free XP. Since this was, of course, the first Tier 9 premium added into the game, they weren't quite sure what to do about her economy. So, since the Missouri at the time was a pretty heavy investment of 750,000 free XP, now remember back then we didn't have the insane booster flags that we have today, and you couldn't mount 25 signal flags on your boat. So it took quite a bit of time to get 750,000 free XP back in the day, and that's why today these free XP ships are like 2 million free XP. It's inflation. Funny that even happens in a digital world. Anyway. So, since they weren't exactly sure what to do with a Tier 9 Premium, they, I believe, doubled and then summed the Tier 8 Premium economy and gave it to Missouri. Which means that Missouri has the reputation, rightly so, of being an absolute money printer. There have been some slight changes to her economy over time, but she's still above the rest of the field. And as you will see it with the end screen to this battle up on screen here in a minute, that is still very much the case today. But according to the Developer Bulletin, I'll read straight from it for you. Update 10.7 features an event that's dedicated to the end of World War II. During the event, Missouri will become available for purchase in exchange for doubloons. Missouri was our first experience in creating a Tier 9 premium ship, and during her adjustment, the ship received excessively high credit profitability compared to other premium Tier 9 ships. The existence of a large number of ships with such high profitability negatively affects the game economy. Furthermore, it's often not the ship's specifications and gameplay, but her excessive profitability that became the determining factor for players deciding which ship to take in battle. This resulted in some captains playing Missouri more often than they planned. At the same time, Missouri is one of the most famous historical ships, and we would like more players to have the opportunity to add the ship to their collections. In the forthcoming update, Missouri's base economy capabilities will be brought into line with other Tier 9 premium ships. Players who already own the ship at the moment Update 10.7 goes live will, on average, earn the same number of credits as before. A permanent combat mission that applies an economic bonus to all battles will maintain the ship's economic value for everyone who owned Missouri prior to this change. So, if you don't have Missouri right now, and you buy her when she comes out in 10.7, that is not going to print money. However, if you own Missouri right now, your Missouri will continue to print money because you will receive a combat mission that will compensate the lost economic potential. Now, they did say on average it should be the same. And there is a slight difference in the way that the game calculates the credit output when something's getting a boost from a combat mission rather than it being baked into the ship. I think it's slightly less in some situations and slightly more in some other situations. I don't know 100% for sure, but I do know that it should be almost the same, and we'll test that out once this combat mission comes out and Missouri's economy goes back to, well, not goes back, but gets changed to just another Tier 9 premium ship. So that being said, if you don't have Missouri right now, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're not looking at the ship's historical value and that it is the Missouri, it's not going to be worth it. Because the Missouri is simply, once you take away that economic boost that she has, she's honestly just a worse Iowa. And that's the cold hard truth. She has the same guns as Iowa, she has access to the same modules and such, but her heel is the original U.S. battleship heel. it is not the improved U.S. battleship hill that all the higher tier American battleships get now, which sucks a lot because that's a very nice improved hill to have, and it helps those American battleships stay relevant in modern World of Warships because they are some of the oldest battleships in the game. And, things have changed. There's more big guns at higher tier, more HE spam, some really strong carriers, some really strong destroyers and such at higher tier now compared to when the American battleships came out and when Missouri came out way back in the day, but she doesn't get that heal anymore. Well, she never got it in the first place, so she just doesn't get it. So you're stuck with the original U.S. battleship heal, which, again, sucks. It really does. But she does have radar, too. And if they would have done this a year ago, I would have said, yeah, you still get that radar. But the thing is, at higher tier now, radar is very, very common now. It's rare that you're in a game that doesn't have at least 2 radar ships. And when that happens, people usually notice, like, holy crap, there's no radar in this match. But it's still kind of useful. I mean, if there's a cruiser hugging an island and you're trying to go around the side of it, you can pop that. It's only 9.5 kilometers. That's another downside to it as well. It's got a pretty decent duration time now, and of course with the commander spells you could build into it, although you'd be wasting those points that need to go into the ship's survivability because you don't have the American battleship improved healing at all, so there's that too. But yeah, overall it's just a worse hour. No scouting playing, no spotter plane either, so you're stuck with your range and you don't have any planes to go up if a CV comes after you. It still does have, of course, the American battleship AA, but besides just getting it for pure collector value, there's no real reason to buy this ship. I think it's going to be for doubloons. I promise you this is going to be at least $80. I mean, that's just how much tier 9 premiums cost nowadays. And they did tout that they were adding in a camo for her, and they'll probably have a bundle with like the ship and the camo for like $120 or something like that. And when that camo came out, I had a sneaking suspicion that they might do this, and lo and behold, they did. But is it a bad thing that they're bringing her back? No, I don't think it's a bad thing that they're bringing her back. She is, of course, again, like they said, a very, very famous ship. World War II ended on this ship. Lots of people really want to get their hands on it. And they did get the nail on the head right there when they said people want her just for her economic potential. That is absolutely true. People have thrown hundreds or thousands of dollars at this game trying to get this one single ship in the Santa Container event, or when they have any type of container event that you could potentially get the Missouri. People will absolutely throw their money at the game trying to get this ship, which is pretty interesting that they are essentially removing that from the game. So people won't be throwing their credit card at the game trying to get the Missouri for her economy anymore, which that's pretty surprising right there. I mean, I myself threw several $100s at the game trying to get the ship back in the day, and thankfully I got her pretty early on in that compared to what some other people have told me. They're kind of shooting their goose that lays the golden egg here because people won't do that anymore because they wanted her just for that economic potential. So that's an interesting move from Wargaming there. So for us players that already have the Missouri, we should still be able to print credits with the Missouri. I do wish they would just leave the Missouri as is and kind of just release this new Missouri, although I guess that means they would have to make another ship, and it wouldn't be the Missouri, and people probably wouldn't buy it. If I had to guess, that's probably why they're just doing it like this, nerfing the economy, then adding in a combat mission that compensates for it. It'll be interesting to see how that combat mission works, if it's going to be just an infinite number of missions for, like, play a game in the Missouri and it's going to have the bonus in it. I hope it's about the same, because, again, if it does crash it down a lot, that's going to be a huge bummer to all of us that spent quite a few dollars trying to get the ship. But again, if you're looking at getting the ship and picking her up, it's just a worse Iowa. You're better off just playing Iowa and buying the permanent camouflage for Iowa, honestly, than this ship, because you'll survive a lot longer in Iowa than you will in this ship under concentrated fight. I promise you that. So you just be better off taking Iowa with the permanent camo and couple of special signal flags in the Missouri. But again, if you're one of those people that's a collector and waiting for the Missouri to come back and you missed out on her and you don't want to break the bank trying to get her in Santa containers, well, here you go. Missouri is coming back for y'all. And again, I think it's a pretty good move to bring it back. A very desirable ship that many players want to get their hands on. And again, a very famous and beloved historical ship as well. So guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Thursday. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 30,000 subs, just past 27,200 a few days ago, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.